making pesto tonight for dinner. I thought I'd show you how easy it is to make. I'm using the basil from my garden. So I'm gonna let people have a chance to tune in and kind of get things set up a little bit. And the recipe I'm using for my pesto is from Cooking Light, and you can find it on allrecipes.com. I'll pull it up here. Pull it up on the iPad. Let's see. So the recipe you can find, it's just called pesto. It's pretty easy to find. So it's on myrecipes.com, and you can just type in pesto, and that's the recipe that I'm using. I am supposed to have Parmesan cheese, and I ran out, so I'm going to try my pesto tonight with mozzarella cheese. There's all different ways that you can make pesto. You can make it with walnuts and different things like that. So I'm sure that the mozzarella cheese will be a fine stand-in for the Parmesan cheese. Just going to pull this up and share that we are live right now. Let me share that as myself. I'm going to share that as myself. Tell everybody that we are making pesto live. You can tune in. All right. So it is a very fun day in the Thompson household because football has returned. There was a little disappointment last week, I think, from the husband that the game got canceled because of the field. But hi, Betsy. Glad you're tuning in. And I saw that you liked the picture of the basil. It smells so good. So let me know if you've ever made pesto on your own, what kind of recipe you like to use, what ingredients you like to add in there, and can answer questions along the way. And tonight I'm going to show you kind of our whole meal once the finished product is done. So I've already got the salad and the fettuccine or linguine. I don't really know the difference between those two. And the chicken plated, and then we'll just add our pesto on top and show you kind of what a 21-day fix meal can look like, and see that you're not missing out on anything by using the 21-day fix. So I'll go ahead and get the recipe going and get things together so that we can get started making our pesto. I had to ask my husband to turn down the TV a little bit while he's watching the Texans game, and I kind of got to look, so I don't want to be on too long so that he can enjoy his game. I'll pull up the recipe again. Again, the recipe that I'm using is just from Cooking Light. You can find it at myrecipes.com, and you can find it there. Just look up pesto. That's all it is. It's a pretty simple recipe. And then the basil that I'm using, I grew in the garden, and basil, someone told me once that it's really a weed, so it's really easy to grow. You can practically, and if you grow basil, you'll notice that basil usually spreads to different areas of your garden, so you kind of have to control it. And I like to make sure that I clip my basil before it starts to flower, and seed, because then it makes the basil kind of bitter and not as good. So I'm going to just start by following the recipe. I'm making my my pesto tonight in the food processor. It's a pretty old food processor. I'm making it in the food processor. You could make your pesto probably in one of the NutriBullet, like we use for smoothies, or in a blender, anything that has a blade there. So I'm doing it in the food processor, so it's going to probably be a little bit noisy as we do this. So we're going to throw in the garlic, and you can use whole garlic, but I like to use my minced garlic. And so it says to use 4 cloves of garlic, and so each garlic, half a teaspoon, is approximately 1 clove of garlic. So I'm going to use 4 half teaspoons. I've got out my 1 teaspoon measuring cup, so I'm going to put in 2 of these. I'm just going to drop it right into my food processor. And put that in there. Easy enough. And then the next, and it says to process it until it's minced, but Mine's already minced, so I don't have to do any processing there. The next step is to place the basil and the next 4 ingredients. This is such a simple recipe. So I've got my basil, and I made sure that I washed it really well because, oh, thanks for the hearts. Hey Loretta, how are you? Hope you're recovered from our concert the other day, which is really good. So I made sure that I washed it really well because I feel like sometimes when you get food from the store that they've already kind of washed it some, but when I'm getting food out of my garden sometimes I notice that it's got like soil or bugs and things like that, so you got to make sure that you wash it really well. So I'm packing all my basil in here, packing it in good. I don't really measure the basil, I just kind of throw it in there. I'm not really into measuring. It'll all get squanched down in there as it goes around. Alright, so basil and then 1/4 cup of pine nuts. And you can find pine nuts just at your grocery store. They look kind of like this. They look exactly like this because they're pine nuts. But, so just scoop those in. I'm going to sprinkle those around so they kind of get mixed in. And then the next is the 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Like I mentioned earlier, I ran out of Parmesan cheese, so I know you can make pesto in all sorts of different ways. Tonight we're going to try it out with mozzarella cheese. To me, cheese is cheese. I'm sure the texture will be a little bit different and the flavor a tiny bit different, but we're going to go for it with some mozzarella cheese. I'm sure it will still be delicious. So what are you guys having for dinner tonight? Hi Myra! You guys watching the Texans game? I'm sure. You're all very good Texans fans. Alright, so I'm just going to put my, excuse any noises in the background from my husband grunting at the TV. Alright, so you can see I've got my garlic, my pine nuts, the basil, and the cheese. It looks delicious and it smells good too. I'm just going to put some salt and pepper. Salt. Again, I don't measure a lot. Just kind of go with it. And some pepper. Alright, and then it says to process for 10 seconds. So it's going to get kind of noisy, so I'm just going to shove the lid on here. And put it on high, and we're going to go for 10 seconds. Okay, and then it wants me to combine the water and oil in a measuring cup, so you can kind of see how that just kind of chopped it all up. Nothing for dinner. You're not having cereal for tonight for dinner again? Yeah, come on over. Alright, so I'm going to combine the warm water, which I have here, and then 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Alright, the Texans must not be looking good right now because I'm hearing some profanities in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And pesto is so good. You can put it on, I always like to put it on pasta. You can put it on chicken. You can put it on shrimp, all sorts of things. What do you guys like to put your pesto on? It does. It smells delicious already too. Alright, so I'm going to add this in with the processor on. Slowly pour oil mixture through the food chute. This is where things probably get a little messy and crazy. It's okay. I'm just always concerned that it's going to come out the other side of the food chute, but just move that over there a little bit. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn it on low for this experience. Ooh, chicken, yes. I like it on chicken. fizzing from the side of the food chute. So, it smells so good. Now you can see, so fresh. Got my pesto all mixed up, and that's all there is to it. So now I'm gonna plate my dinner. So, like I mentioned in my weekly menus, if you're following the blog or seeing my post on Facebook, that we're still in the last week of the 21-day fix. Honestly though, I'm behind a few workouts because I actually did some extra ones. I did Insanity the other day with Chad, which I actually uttered the words, "This is insane." I hadn't done Insanity in quite a while, and it's very not the same as 21-day fix. It's very jumping and insane. So he named it well whenever he named it Insanity. So I did that, and I did the 10-minute 21-day fix abs one morning when I was running short on time. So I did work out, but I'm still behind on some workouts, so I'll have to finish those next week. But so we're on the last week of the 21-day fix, and if you check out the blog, you can find my weekly menu, and it'll give you the standard menu that I usually post on the fridge. Thanks for the likes. And then it also gives you the 21-day fix checklist menu, so you can check off your containers. So for tonight, if you looked, and if I did it correctly, you'll see I've got, I don't know if you can see my plate of food here. So I've got a green, which is your vegetables. So all of the salad fit inside the green container. So that's my one green. And like I mentioned before, I'm not good at the greens. I don't get enough vegetables in my diet. I'm really good at the yellows though, but I'm not good at the greens. So if you needed to double up and add some more greens, because I think my meal plan is at 4 a day, so I could double up the salad and have more. And then you can see over here, I've got the pasta and the chicken. So this looks like a pretty decent amount of pasta, and this actually, so the yellow is your carbs. All of this pasta fit into this yellow. So it's not like I'm missing out. I can still get the good taste. And then this chicken breast is probably about a red. I didn't measure it for sure. I could probably add a little extra, but probably a red. And then so our pesto would probably fit into the blue category because we put some cheese and some oil and stuff in it. So I'm just going to drizzle the pesto over the top. Scoop it out here. Nice fresh pesto. Oh, it smells so good, so fresh. Like I mentioned, so the basil is so easy to grow, and the out in the garden, you can grow it in a pot, you can grow it in a container. So easy. Yes, Kayla, you do need to, oh, thanks Betsy for reading my blog all the time. And yes, Kayla, you need to find my blog, what'sworkinghere.com. Very easy. Oh, you grow your own, so what are you growing, Kayla? What have you been growing? I had good luck this year with cucumbers and like jalapenos and not much else. The zucchini plant's growing, but I haven't had anything growing. And then the basil, of course, grew really well. And the tomatoes didn't do as well this year, but that's okay. So I added a couple spoonfuls of my pesto here. And here is dinner for tonight. Very nice and green. I hate when my plate is all like one color, it's all beige. I like when it's nice and green and different colors. So this is what we'll be having for dinner tonight as we hopefully watch the Texans win their first preseason game. Like I mentioned, I'll have to put up on Facebook, I'll put the link to the recipe for the pesto. It's pretty simple, and like I mentioned, there's all sorts of different pesto recipes. This is just the one that I found and that I like to use a lot of the time. I didn't make it up or anything, I just follow it. So you can find that. I'll put a link up to that after a while on this post. And thank you guys for following along and tuning in. I see, oh, so Kayla, you grow basil, chives, cilantro. How did you have good luck with cilantro? My cilantro grew really good at the beginning of the summer, and now I think I let it get to seed, so it didn't. Rosemary, tomatoes, 5 types of peppers, and peas. Oh, my grandparents used to do peas all the time, and my favorite thing in the entire world is I would go spend a week every summer with them, and we would sit outside and shell peas. It's a memory I still enjoy, and I made them do it when I was an adult too. I'm like, hey, can we come shell peas? They're like, oh, I didn't know that you actually enjoyed that, but yes, I do. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you'll try making some pesto of your own. As you can see, it's very, very simple and didn't take us long at all. And this pesto will make enough for dinner tonight and for meals down down the week, and then I'll probably freeze some. A really good idea that I've seen is to freeze it into like ice cubes, an ice cube tray, and then you can just take out about a tablespoonful whenever you need it and have it there. So thanks guys for tuning in. I appreciate you watching, and look forward to talking with you again soon.